this fully globalized world with free trade will not come back. I think we will have a much more regional economy in a regionalized world. AI for sure will take out certain type of jobs, which will be done more or less automatically. But that cost saving, shouldn't you use that cost saving for being faster in product development or doing something else?
So what's your outlook on the beer industry and car industry?
So I think it would also be very unrealistic to believe that all car brands in Europe will remain 10 years from now. The ones who will adapt, who has also the ability really to adapt, they will survive.
The European car industry is living through times of upheaval. Chinese competition, electrification and tariffs are throwing into question the very essence of European car makers. Volvo Cars, one of the most storied European brands, has embraced these challenges head-on. After being acquired by Chinese Geely in 2010, the Swedish company has pulled off a remarkable transformation. His CEO, Håkan Samuelsson, who led Volvo Cars through its turnaround between 2012 and 2022, and is now back at the helm since 2025, joins us today. So welcome and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
So how has the way you think about international footprint and the way you deploy capital changed from your first stint as a CEO of Volvo Cars until 2022?
So I think this fully globalized world with free trade will not come back. I think we will have a much more regional economy in a regionalized world. And that, of course, could mean that we need to double invest a bit more. As building a car only in one place and shipping it all around the world is, of course, means less CapEx. But it means more working capital and more freight cost, longer delivery times for customers. So the regionalisation and going to a more build where you sell approach, which we are doing now, is not necessarily only negative. You need more CapEx, but you save on OpEx, freight cost, and consumers will get cars faster. So I think it's something that is not that painful. It's just to accept we need to build more cars where we sell, and that is just a fact. More difficult is, of course, that we need to really have two systems technology-wise also in the future. Software and electronics, especially around connected cars, we need to have a Chinese version and a Western compliant version. So that's a bit doubling of R&D expenses.
Geopolitical disruption also goes hand in hand with technological disruption. And in this regard, you launched earlier this year production there in Toslanda, your flagship plant in Toslanda, just outside Gothenburg, of your EX60 electric vehicles, which ushers in a number of innovations from mega casting to cell-to-body technology, and also your own central computing system. So tell me a bit more, how does this project evolve, transform the way you think, design, and produce, manufacture cars?
Yeah, I think first, probably the biggest news is the whole electronic structure, where the car industry, traditionally, you buy functionality from suppliers. I mean, say, climate control, door locks, power control, powertrain control, typically is developed and delivered by suppliers, and the intelligence sits maybe in over 100 ECUs in a car. That's how it works traditionally. And then, of course, you have two aspects. The most important is, if we now going to deliver attributes and features to customers faster, then we need to develop much faster than specifying and getting the functionality in a box. We also need to download new versions over the air, which is also more complicated if you have 100 separate ECUs in the car. So timing to faster development requires a central approach. Having really the customer features and building a real software-defined car requires also you have a central approach and have control of the real programming. And then last but not least is, of course, costs. If you do this yourself, I think long term you will come down to a lower cost level, even though, of course, it's a big investment to take the step to come into this central approach. But I think long term you need to do it, and it's something that car makers need to just come through a very difficult and costly transformation. And I'm just glad that we have this painful and expensive transformation behind us.
So what does it tell us about the constraints and opportunities of doing car manufacturing in Europe today?
One is exactly what I said, that I mean the whole system is built on that you have very strong suppliers, which is doing a big part of it. But putting that together into one car, which is developed fast, that is the challenge for the industry. And it's of course easier if you start from scratch. So a lot of these new startup brands, they were the first that had a much more central approach to the information systems. So that is a challenge for everybody in the business. Then, of course, the European car industry also have a huge cost challenge because there is thousands of parts in a car. And I mean, the Chinese supplier industry is probably the most competitive in the world. So you see the cost of parts for cars which you supply in China is way lower than in Europe. And that's, of course, a problem for all us in Europe who have a good, very long-lasting cooperation with all of our suppliers. We need to come down in cost because the Chinese new players will put pressure on the whole car industry. So, I mean, if we think we have had competition before, I think in the future it will be worse.
You mentioned a couple of things of what you did to optimize your cost structure. Is there anything that could be done also at a regulatory level? Obviously, the European Union has been very active in trying to create a setup that sort of like fights uneven competition, or a setup that evens the level playing fields for all the car makers. Is there anything else that could be done on that level?
I think that is probably something we need to understand. We need in Europe, like have an understanding from that, even though in 2018 we're advocating free trade and zero tariffs. I mean, zero tariffs will probably not be implemented in the future. I mean, the car industry in Europe is very important for employment in Europe. And I mean, there is a certain barrier now for Chinese cars to come in. And I think it's very likely that that will remain. But long term, I think relying on protection from tariffs is also not good long term for the car industry in Europe. So, I mean, the way we should react to this is, of course, to improve and shape up, improve our productivity, and being faster in product development. That is the long-term way of protecting jobs in Europe. But short-term, realistically, there will be tariffs and probably needed also to give the industry time to adapt.
You mentioned productivity. Where do you stand in the artificial intelligence, robotics debate? Do you feel that we are really on the brink of a productivity boost of an unprecedented productivity boost, as some hopeful AI evangelists, if you may, are calling for. What are you seeing also from your own operation? Is this something that can really happen?
It will happen. I would maybe be not too optimistic that we would see huge reduction of headcount in our operations, because I mean, earlier all type of automation is also used as an opportunity to do other things and do more. So I mean, AI for sure will take out certain type of jobs, which will be done more or less automatically. But that cost saving, you could always argue, shouldn't you use that cost saving for being faster in product development or doing something else? I mean, historically, that has been more the case than that utilizing and seeing just a car maker with less people on board and with a lower cost mass. That has not happened before. I don't think it will happen here either, but certain jobs will be moving to more creative and more developing type of jobs, which I think also is necessary to be able to compete, as we have said, with new players such as Chinese. So I don't think it's a massive loss of works or a massive cost decrease that I would be skeptic to.
As a final word on Europe, so what's your outlook on the European industry, the car industry?
I mean, we will have a transformation now technology-wise. It will be electric cars, and electric cars will also be smart cars, will be software defined. I mean, it's huge transformation. Typically on the market, if you look into other type of products, that will never happen without new players and that certain old players disappear. So I think it would also be very unrealistic to believe that all car brands in Europe will remain 10 years from now. The ones who will adapt, who has also the ability really to adapt and to live in this new world, they will survive. And then I don't want to speculate exactly who they are, but I would say Volvo, we have a unique opportunity to stay on the market. We took the decision to electrify very early. We did not do it because we saw we react to some kind of threat. We did that as a way to create an opportunity for our company.
Håkan, a very final question. An old ambition of yours is to break through the threshold of 1 million vehicles sold per year. Last year you sold just over 700,000. Do you still have that on your table? Is this still an ambition that you want to achieve in the foreseeable future?
Yes, I would say so, even though I would be a bit reluctant to formulate exact volume. But Volvo Cars needs to grow in the future, and we need to grow with the technology transformation. And that's why it's so important for us to have a higher market share with electric cars than with conventional cars, because then we will sort of grow with the transformation of the market in a sort of very good way instead of trying to grow in a shrinking segment. So we will have a better performance in the growing electrified segment. So there is no reason why we should not be a much bigger company than today, 5 years from now. And if that is 1 million or 1.1 or 900,000, I think we don't need to say, but growth is definitely a part of our future as a premium electric car brand.
Håkan Samuelsson, the CEO of Volvo Cars, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. It was nice being with you.
Likewise. Thank you everyone for watching. You can follow all our interviews on our website, fdiintelligence.com, or on our YouTube channel. Until the next time.